What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Today, I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about a recovery tool that I've been using recently, which is called the PSORITE. And literally what it works on is in the name. And what it works on is the PSOAS muscle. The PSOAS muscle is a muscle that comes down from your abdomen and actually connects to your thighs, which actually has an effect on your low back and all this other kind of crazy stuff. So I want to dive into why I use it, how I use it, and well, when to use it. Why I use the PSORITE. Well, a lot of us cyclists were kind of cooped up in that riding position, which has us hunched over the bars. And yeah, those muscles tend to tighten up. They tend to seize up. It's kind of like when you get off the bike and you kind of have that nick and crick in your neck where you're just like, oh man, you're putting all that weight down in the drops and whatever else. Well, coming from a time trialist or a pursuiter like myself, I spend a lot of the time in the aero bars. And with that, I then am hinged at the hips quite often. And yeah, my hips are kind of closed off, and applying that pressure in those muscles, you know, those things tend to tighten up. And honestly, just as the Achilles tendon is one of the most abused tendons in a runner, the hip flexor in the PSOAS is the cyclist equivalent of abused parts of the anatomy. Tightness in the PSOAS will produce a loss in power and even a loss in flexibility, which then results into poor function onto the bike. The releasing of the PSOAS can kind of be difficult because you really have to get in there deep, which is where these tools come into play. I mean, it is a funky looking tool, and I'm gonna show you how to use it and why I use it. I try to use the PSOAS in the morning, kind of like first thing when I wake up, as just like a daily routine. It's kind of like getting my breakfast in me. And the reason for that is because I spend a lot of time cooped up in my desk. I spend a lot of time cooped up on my bike. And yeah, I just try to invert that process by resting my PSOAS, or the best way to do it is kind of that V cut in your stomach or the outsides of your belly button, essentially massaging that and getting in there really deep. I'm a pansy, and yeah, it takes a lot of effort for me to do it by hand. So to actually lay down on something and really apply that pressure evenly and equal to the PSOAS is super helpful in releasing that muscle and yeah, opening up those hips to kind of help with the power production and recovery. Now, this being said, you really need to ease into this. This isn't something that you should just start laying on and thinking that all of a sudden you're going to be faster on the bike and your hips are going to be more open, which then makes you become more aero. Honestly, give it time, because what happens is your body's going to then start to decide to protect itself, and it's actually going to lock up, and you won't be able to release those muscles because what's happening is you're putting too much stress onto that muscle. So it's going to create this barrier which it won't allow it to release, because yeah, essentially you're just injuring yourself. That being said, the best advice I can give you is just be calm, cool, and consistent. Know that it is a patient process, and know that it will take some time to release said muscles, and know that it'll take some time to even get better. Think of it as training. It's not like if you go out and do a 20-minute effort, tomorrow you're gonna be doing a 20-minute effort by 50 more watts. So it takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes a bit of training and just getting used to it. But over time, that muscle should release, which then allows you then to get into a lower position / open up your hips to then create and produce more power. Again, thanks so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And if you're interested in PSORITE, I'll put a link down to them in the description below. And yeah, you can order yours today, and hopefully it helps you out and produce more power. Also, if you haven't seen already, I'm doing a podcast called Coffee and Van Chats, which is down in the link in the description below as well. So be sure to check that out. But other than that, I'm out. Peace.